Start recording. Okay, now if you see my GitHub account, 1 second, I'm stopping the screen. Why is that? Okay. Hope everyone has created the GitHub account now and would have created a repository and have done some practices. So last class we created one
Yes.
repository called Git class demo, right? In this Git class demo, what we had created few files and had created few branches, right? 1.3, and I showed you how real time we work in the different branches and after different branches creations and how we release that, and once you release the branch and how we merge the branch to the master. So last class we saw creating and updating new branches, creating the files and everything, but we did not see the merging, right? We did not see the merging the branches into the main. But after the class, actually, I had merged the branch which was created into the main. So now we can see in main we have few files, right? Let me quickly go to the feature branch, feature 1.3. In this feature 1.3, we have two files. Or if you go to feature RKS, suppose I am working on my branch feature RKS, and in this branch, let me create one more file. Okay, so how can I create a file? Just go to add files, create new file. Suppose let me create a name to this file, test me dot C file, okay, or Java file. So just give me Java just a demo file. Okay, now let me save the changes. So you can give additional or optional comments here. If you don't want, you can also you can ignore it, but always give the good meaningful comments. Okay, any meaningful comment, the comment should be meaningful. Okay, that's very important for a developer or for a DevOps engineer to provide, so that the persons whoever coming and working in your project should understand what changes you have done. Okay, now commit new file. So here we can see in my this feature RKS branch, I have three files. Okay, including MD, we have Readme file. We have four files. So if I go to the main branch, will not have any new files which I created. Okay, now you can see on the top right, you can see here one option called compare and pull request. Now suppose you okay, now guys, one questions for you. Suppose one more resource is going to create a branch. Suppose you are going to create a branch, from where you have to create a new branch. Out of these three, main branch, feature RKS feature 1.3, which one you will choose to create your branch?
The latest
Feature
one from which I want to work, maybe
1.3.
if feature 1.3 is the base one which is created from the main branch, there only I'll take and I'll create my branch, because feature RKS is for another developer.
Yes.
Feature 1.3 is the standard branch which is originated from main. So I'll take the whatever latest value present on feature 1.3.
Yes, because the RKS one, which is recently, I am working on that, so that it will not be there. Because if you are creating immediately, so you should not go with RKS. So if you are creating after few days or something like if or tomorrow, or it's actually some changes have been done into that, so you can go ahead and can use it. You can go ahead and use it. If you are working on the same project and the same modules, you can create this. a branch from the RKS. Okay, if you feel like you are creating a different module or different things, then you can go and get branch created from the feature 1.3. Okay, so I have now in this feature RKS I have
So
four.
Ranjit,
Yes.
it should be as per the requirement, na? So like
As per the
which
requirement.
branch you need to take.
Yes.
Means
Yes.
if your requirement is for that branch, so maybe some commits which are present in that branch, which is not here.
Mhm.
So you can take that branch, no? Likewise.
Exactly. So
Okay. Okay.
it's exactly is the same things whatever Tapnavai said. It depends on
Uh-huh.
the requirement. Again, it depends on the requirement what you are going to do. Mostly for the DevOps engineers, we work, as I told in the last classes, we work on the last succeeded branch, last succeeded build, whatever which branch was succeeded in the build process or in the deployment process, that only will get it. Okay, suppose you feel like after a successful deployment, right? After a successful release, suppose I released the project from this RKS, or suppose let me create a release branch and I'm going to release, and this RKS suppose is created and I'm going to create a release branch. Okay, so what release branch, and this is the updated like last build success, and I'm going to create a release branch. So I can simply go and create a release. Suppose I can give this 1.4. This is the what the version of the release is 1.4. Okay, now I created it here. Now if you want to do some changes into this file, okay, now let me modify some this. I'm going to add something here, and then after that I'll release the branch. Okay, got it. Now give some comments. Okay, uh, anything release 1.4 commit changes. Now I added this release branch. Okay, 1.4. Now I released this 1.4 into productions. Okay, now I release this 1.4 into production. So after that, what you have to do, you have to merge this to the main branch, right? So how you have to do, just go ahead and compare, and pull request will be there, right? Just select compare and pull, and here you can see these versions. You can see on this top right, compare release 1.4 is going to be merged to base is our main, the master, right? Able to merge these branches, can be automatically merged. Now what you have to, you have to just give a comment, merging release 1.4 to main, create pull request. You have to select on the create pull request. Now now what it says, this branch has no conflicts, this branch has no conflicts. Then we can go ahead and then merge pull request, merge pull request, confirm merge. See, confirm merge. So once you see the confirm merge, you just go to this one, and if we go to our main, see, our main is now having Java file which we created in the here branch file, release file is available in the main file. Now if you click this test Java, we'll have 3 lines. Okay, but if I go to this, I added a Java file in the RKS folder, right? RKS, we have Java file, but it has only 2 lines because we have not merged this RKS branch into the main branch. What we
Main.
we
Main.
we updated the release branch directly. So that means, so tomorrow if you want to go and work, what you have to, either you can select the release 1.4 which is the latest one, or you can get it from the main directly, because main is the updated one. You can directly get it from the main and clone it from main and work. So this is how we have to merge a request, merge the file, okay, after working into that one. Okay, now we feel like this RKS branch is no more required. So how we can delete it? Simply go to the branches and select the here new pull request. If you want to merge it, you can still merge this one, because if you merge it, it will be re merged to the older one, because our release version has updated one, it has the old version, so we don't have to merge it. So you can delete this one if you want it. Now we can delete it. Similarly, what we have to do is the same things whatever we did it now using the GitHub. Okay, let me show you few more other stuffs in the GitHub page. After that we'll move forward. Okay, so we are so far talking about the readme details, right? If you see any one of my project or any one of my things will have one readme file. So this readme.md, right, it's a database, kind of small database file which will having the informations about your repositories. And this is a good practice to update all the project information, so that everyone whoever following or whoever creating projects or working on the projects can understand what this application is for. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, another thing, if you can see here, any changes if you want to make your repositories, just go your repositories, find here inside. Even in your company also will have access to this tab. We can see your organization, you can see your repositories. Okay, now we can see your repositories. Now same git class underscore demo, okay, was in the GitHub. But if you see in the locally, right, locally also we had cloned initially the same repositories. Okay, now if I go to the here, we have only two files. This is our local repositories, right? This is our local repositories. How I can sync the remote to the local? Suppose tomorrow you are going to work on this one and you'll feel like this is totally different remote. The first thing, actually, whenever you are working on the local, you have to do a pull request. Okay, you have to do a pull request. So what is the pull? Git pull. Okay, and you have to clone this. So see, I now pulled it. Okay, after that, if you do ls -lrt, you'll find, see, testme.java also added in the local repository, to the local repositories. Now what we learned how to configure our Git, how to initialize it, how to create and add from staging to staging area, and then how to commit it, then how to pull and merge a file into the remote repositories, right? Now will completely work on the branching stuff locally. So we saw the branching stuff GitHub. In the GitHub, we saw the branching stuffs. Now we'll see the same branching stuffs in the local repositories. So for local repositories, how to create a
So
branch?
Ranjit, here actually one doubt actually. So you git pull you placed that URL something now.
Yes, that URL.
The, uh, so if you are downloading from main, so only git pull is fine, no?
Yes, only git full is fine.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. A particular branch, then we need to specify. Means through that we need to
So that is
specify.
fine. If it's just simply type
Okay.
git full, it will work.
Git pull it will also yeah.
It will do, because it's
Yeah.
already up to date. It will. I specified if you have
Uh-huh.
specific branch, you can see here the branches also. What are the new branches? Everything is actually
Mm-hmm. Okay,
absolutely
okay, got it.
up to
Yeah.
date. Okay.
Please carry on.
Yeah. Now what we can do it here. So we'll create. So everything we saw so far in the GitHub. Now let's move in and create some branches in the locally. Okay. How we can do that? We can simply create. Suppose I'm going to create a new branch to that. So you have to use command git check out. Okay. Hyphen b and the branch name. Suppose I'm going to create a new branch called feature 1.5. Okay. So see, one branch is created, feature 1.5. Now if I do git branch, so we have feature 1.5 locally available, which I'm going to work. So you can see here star is selected, so it is here. So if you want to check out to the main branch, what you can use? You can use git check out main. So you can see here switch to main branch. Now if you do git branch, you are into the main branch. Okay. Now you saw how
So
to
star shows exactly we are in which branch. Suppose
branch.
many branches are there.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
are not sure in which branch. It will list out current branch.
branch.
Okay.
So if you
Star with color change. Yeah.
start with color change, and that also, if you when you are working in the Linux environment, in a project in the Linux environment. But the for other most of the developers or DevOps engineers, actually we use different tools to use. At that time when you are using the tool, that time also you, whatever the branch you select, that you can visible in the front of the tool. Okay. So that you can find it out.
So tool means Ranjit, what kind of tool?
See, you can tool in the sense editor, sorry. The editors, whatever
Oh,
the,
editor.
yeah,
Oh, editor. Okay.
editors, sorry.
Hmm.
Either VS Code.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is.
because developers will be
Mm-hmm.
working on, suppose VS Visual
Uh,
Studio
uh,
or Eclipse or anything, right?
Clips. Okay. Okay. Got it.
So those kind of things will be visible. So, and
Mm-hmm.
in the Windows machines, you can see the, if you're working the Git bus itself, it will, in the line itself it will display which branch you are in. Okay. Now
That end of the line.
end of the line. So now let me so to git check out. I'm going to check out to, suppose feature branch I'm going to work. So feature feature 1.5. So in this branch I'm going to work. So I switched it. Now in this branch, if I do it here, all these files are there, and let me just add a new changes to this one. Vi tester Java.
So Ranjit, one doubt actually. So what is that actually? Origin still I am also not clear actually because I means as I word a little. No? So that origin slash main, what is that mean actually? What is the difference between origin slash main and only main?
Sorry guys, I got a call. Okay. Sorry, Tapan bhai, can you please tell me again? I forgot.
Yeah, yeah. So the just the difference between that origin slash main and only main actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What is that actually?
Yes, sure. Okay. Let me just add it. I'll show you. Suppose I'm going.
Yeah. After that.
I'm going to add it one file here. Okay. So I can say this is from local repo. Okay. Now if I do git status, sorry, git status, you'll see this file is added. So what I can do is the simple things: git add dot and git commit hyphen m. I can give a message like this, whatever the message while committing, right? In the GitHub we are doing the same. Hello.
Yeah, Ranjit. Yeah.
No, my mouse was not working, so I thought everything is got stopped. Okay, so whatever the commit we are giving it here, right? In the GitHub, the same thing we have to give it here also. Okay, test me.java updated added. Now,
So
so
Ranjit, actually, sorry, Ranjit. Actually,
please.
git add, because usually what we are doing actually, git add dot means what are the changes file it will get added.
Exactly.
Then git commit hyphen amend actually we are doing, means what are the changes already there. No? It will amend to existing. Okay, only git commit actually for new commit. No, we are giving git commit actually only.
For new commit, I'm
What
giving.
is the
Okay, okay.
uh,
So here what I'm doing, if you see here, after changing the file, I can, when I did git status, what it says, uh, one file is modified, right?
modified?
One
That
file is
one.
modified. That means that file has not come to the staged area. Still it is
Hmm.
on staged area. If a file is only edited and if it is not on staged area, you cannot directly commit it. You cannot directly.
Yeah, correct.
So for
Hmm.
that, what you have to do, you have to add to the stage area. First,
Staging area.
add. Either you can specify git add file name or git add
File
dot
name or dot.
files. Yes.
globally.
Means all files it will go.
So after that, what we have to do, we have to commit it. Once you added, you can commit hyphen m, just giving a message. If you don't want to do all these two steps, what you can do, you can use git commit hyphen a.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, got it, Ranjit. I got it.
It will
Actually,
add it.
hyphen A means we are giving message.
Yeah. The
Uh,
hyphen m means we are giving a
I
message.
got it.
You are giving a message.
Message. Okay, okay.
Give a
Commit message. Yeah, yeah.
commit message. Okay. To give a commit message.
Got it, got it.
So
Please go
now,
ahead.
yeah. So if we do git log, we'll see what are the updates have been done and where have been done. See, if you can see here, release 1.4 was done by, so it was updated in the GitHub itself in the release 1.4 version. You can see here origin main origin release 1.4. Okay, now if you see here, the feature 1.5 which I am working, this is our head, this is the head where I am working on this, and these are the commit IDs whatever I am just working on. So these are things you can see the difference, right guys? Here locally I updated the file which is set up, and here the file which was created by the GitHub applications. In the GitHub itself, I updated, and Ranjit for GitHub, this is the user who has updated this release branch. Okay, you can view it here. Git logs. Okay, now
Yeah, yeah.
once I updated in the local, I want to push into the repository, right? So how we have to do it? So if I do git push origin, sorry, origin, and I'll do master. Okay, hit enter. Why it failed, guys? Can you tell me?
Because the repository is not linked, right?
No.
Because
That
we
the
made
URL.
changes.
It read this line: source ref master does not match any. That means we don't have
Because that
any.
URL is not matched, right? You
No,
have not linked that URL.
no. I'll tell you. The linking part is still there, but I have already linked it. My previous classes, it was already linked, but I'll show you the linking part. Okay. Here, the master branch is not exist.
Main. It is main.
That
I got, I believe.
main. That's why it says. That's why I told you, right? Just see the first. Just see the first line. The first line itself says the master does not match. There is no master. What does we have?
It's main actually.
Main.
Main. Yeah.
So everything is now up to date. So it says everything is up to date. Now let's go ahead and check whether it is really everything is up to date. Go here and go to, this is the file which I updated, right? If I click it here, see, nothing is there. How come it is says updated, right? Anything, guys? Why is happened?
Ranjit, sorry, I just missed
No,
actually.
why it is happening?
So why it's not updated?
Yeah, why it's not updated? I
No,
updated the mail.
no, because we made changes in the different branch and we are pushing to main actually.
Exactly. So that is the,
Mhm.
so we are pushing into
Uh-huh.
different branch. So we updated
Branch, yeah.
here 1.5, but we are pushing
Hmm.
main to the
To
origin.
main.
So that's why it says everything is up to date, the main branch, not the feature branch. So what we have to do, we have to do just git push origin. Okay. Now the feature branch, feature 1.5. Okay.
Hmm.
Got it. Now if I go here, refresh it, we'll have, see, you can say feature 1.5 is added now. See, feature 1.5 has come here. If I go feature 1.5 and check this file, it will have that line added. See, this is from local repo. Now everything clear, guys, how to working in the branching and all.
Yes.
Just to go back a bit in that hub page. Go
Yes.
to please that hub page. Yes. So here
GUI
that
page.
default files are creating, right? Initial commit or something, or that is not default file.
Which are default files?
Readme and all.
Yeah. So when you create,
Readme is a default file. Yeah.
Redmi is the default.
but don't say
Okay.
like default file. When you create a branch, whatever is
Okay.
there in the base file will be replicated everything to the branch. That means the readme file is already there where we created the branch. It's not a default file, it's actually a file which is existing in the base file, base branch. From base branch we are creating a branch so that everything is copied from. That's actually a replica set of your base to branch. Now whatever new changes you are going to do, you have to do in the branch which you created.
Yes. Got it.
Got it? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now everything is clear about the branching and all. So there are a lot more things we'll learn. Just stay tuned with me. And one more thing, actually, what Dilip was always in his mind, like we did not link the account to the local repository. How we link that one? That is also important things. Okay. So for linking, actually, we have one command. Let me just show you.
Ranjit, one before going to that one, another one.
Yeah.
In real world, are we creating like these branches or?
This is the reality,
That
no?
is the real everything whatever
So
This
this,
is the
this
way
type
you
of
need to
small
create.
small branches.
this is the, sorry,
I mean, this type of small branches we are creating in real project, right?
In a project.
Branches name actually, that is the branch name. We means we should give some meaningful branch name.
One more.
Branch name is the version name.
Not branch, not Ranjit, please.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
Branch name is not a version. So when
Not a version actually.
when a version will be created, when you do a release, that time we will give a version to the branch that will be added to the main branch. So the versions will be happen in the main branch itself, not the branch which you created, not the sub branches. Okay, the main branches will be all the versions will be plugged in the main branches. So let me show you the diagram. I think if you understand, it's a slide diagram. Okay.
In every release and every deployment, it will be created in one version to the main branch.
Exactly. So
Once you are pushing to main, it will get created.
yeah.
Yes.
So here, if you see this diagram, right? Hey, what is happening? My
Mouse is not working.
not even touchpad. Sometimes I think it's. Let me check. I think something running in the behind. It's stopping. CPU says 64, 77, 72. Let's go to Windows Server. What Windows Server is running?
RDP, we are running.
I'm not
Any
sure.
RDP client? Any RDP client is there?
Maybe RDP will be running. I think. No, I restarted the system today morning only. I started laptop. Right, I have not started any RDP. That's causing slowness to the mouse. Okay, fine. Let it run. Okay. So, okay. Guys, did I miss anything? Everything clear, right?
Yes.
One second, guys. One second.
So, Bablu, you missed one encouraging story actually. Not story, encouragement from Ranjit.
What? Actually,
Another.
last 2 days I'm not. I have some different personal work. That's why I'm not concentrating in Git. So I'll just finish this two three class whatever done from GitHub. I'll just finish it today and tomorrow I'll finish it.
Okay.
What story?
No, not story actually. That is the reality. One person. No, what is the name? Prabhakar. No, what is his name? No. I missed.
Mr. XYZ. Let it be. He got
Actually,
Let it be Rama. Okay.
no. If name Gopinath. Hey, Gopinath, that person who was joining, he got offer actually, the 100% hike from Accenture actually.
Oh, again, that same person or?
Not a new person.
No, that is different person.
Okay.
Gopinath, he was joining to our class, no?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that one.
We are reducing the other person package by 10.
Okay.
Actually, he got offer.
Okay.
You can join BNP. BNP has huge opening in DevOps.
Never BNP Paribas. Okay, yeah. Let it be first. We have to prepare for that.
We have to get ready actually. We have to make ourselves ready.
BNP they are using Okay, here Ansible is using. They are not using Docker or Kubernetes. Ansible and SonarQube and another. Okay, JFrog for the Artifactory. Okay,
Yes.
this setup.
Eh,
But actually, our Guruji, whatever he will teach, now we'll go with that.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And
what, what we are
he will guide
discussing,
us
I did not listen
till
actually.
we are expert in our project, means till we have to means export in our project, whatever company will join in that project, till we are expert,
Mhm.
Hmm.
our Buddhist will support us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see guys, don't worry about that. So when we'll go into that, the tools like I just heard one word like SonarQube and all. So SonarQube,
Uh-huh.
JUnit and all, actually these are different plugins what we are going to use, tools or plugins in our build server
Yes.
like Jenkins, while building the applications. Again, it is related to the applications, right? The technology what you have used, like either if you are using Java, for Java, we use JUnit and Sonatype or SonarQube that to do the unit testing and quality check. Okay, for Java, we use Maven tool to build the applications. For .NET, we'll see. I'll show you in .NET as well. For .NET, we'll see the MS build. We are using different build technique for .NET, MS build, SonarQube, and different types of quality checks and unit testing. That also will see different applications. Okay, exactly. So we are not sure where we are going to be landed, right? Either in Java applications, will be a DevOps engineer for companies who is working more into the Java product, or we are going to work on the .NET application sides, right? So better we should learn both the things so that you can handle at least which type of uh, build or a DevOps engineer you are going to work. So I'll show you in the both ways, both in .NET as well as Java. Okay, don't worry on that.
And Shiva, we are also ready for that.
Sorry?
BNB.
JP is not paying that much. We can get in Bangalore more.
First, let us enter.
So, okay. So really, what will happen now? Once you land into the job, you should be in a position to at least identify the things. Once you get the requirement, you should identify the things and visualize what needs to be done for that particular requirement. Why I'm saying like once you get experienced, right, everything should be on your forehead. It should be visualize the thing. Once the requirement comes, if you try to visualize, right, it should be immediately come to your mind. If you struggle to get that, then it will be delay your productivity. It will delay to make the stuffs done. So once a requirement comes, immediately it should be visualized. Like this things happens. These tools you need to put it. What are the plugins required? What are the things reckon? Where you need these files? You just get a visualize in your mind, and then do the skeletal reference. Skeletons you have to prepare it. What you need to do it, because the visualize whatever you do it will come for few seconds or few minutes in your mind, right? Sometimes you'll be thinking, right, you'll be getting multiple visualization, which will be one will be very good, and another after sometimes you'll get another visualize which will be even better than that. You'll directly draw in your diagrams in a notepad or anything, just write it down, because this is how we are going to architect the things, right? Architect the things. The best way you provide the solutions to the company will be very happy, because the it's about to the setups, about the entirely setups, how you do the applications build setups, right? If you do it well, you'll get it well. Okay, and don't try to make it lengthy. In the market, there are many tools available, right? So if you think like one tool can do all the stuff. See, Jenkins is a one tool. Jenkins is one tool which can do most of the things CI/CD part. It can it can be used for building, it can be used for delivery, it can be used for deployment also. People using deployment also. Suppose I have a company and I'm a small company, small scale company. Okay, one second. What will happen? I cannot I cannot afford for big other tools. I cannot pay for that. What I can do, if I have one Jenkins tool, I can use my DevOps engineers to design such a platform to do all kind of stuffs in one tool itself, because I cannot afford other tools to pay because I'm a very small company. I can do continuous integrations part, everything here. I can be used for delivery, I can use for deployment also. That's if you're small company and doing small changes and it does not require many things to be involved. Don't make it complicated. If you have a big enterprise company and you need different stuffs to be used different ways and different functionalities. If I can afford a bike, I can go for that. If I have money, I can afford a chartered aeroplane. I can buy one chartered aeroplane. For that I can go with aeroplane. Similarly, the markets tool, you need to go to the market and see what are the services the tools provides and what is your requirement. Get the tool based on your requirement, set it up. That's all. Your work is done. And one more thing, guys, remember always make simplify your requirement. Whatever the requirement comes, try to simplify it and make very easy way to deliver it. Okay, don't try to put it in the complication ways. That's a basic fonda actually. Don't make it complicated. Okay, that will be easy for you, that will be easy for company also. Okay, so we'll not waste more time. Let's move on. Here if we see here, we just created a feature branch. So I showed you how to create the branch in the Git GitHub. Also I showed you how we can create the branches locally using the Git command. So we created the branch locally in the Git command, and that branch we pushed to the origin. That origin is here the remote that is our GitHub is our origin. So to the origin we just put it. Now uh, okay, so let's okay, I was talking about the connectivity, right? So the connectivity, if we saw here, so there is a command. It's called see, adding remote repository into local repo, remote repository into local repo. So what you have to do, you can simply add set URLs. Okay, git set URLs, and you can just use this. I'll share this documentation. No need to memorize and write it anywhere. Just check it. We have options command called git remote set URL and then add origin. Okay. Okay. So we saw here, so using this remote set URL origin and remote add origin, we have to do in our commands. Okay. So after that, what we are going to, so same things, the push things already we have seen, right? Pull we saw already, right? Git pull origin, or we can do simply git pull origin master, or git pull, we can do it to get it. Okay. Now guys, there will be we'll be using this. I'm just giving you the basic operations, then we'll just learn about the rebasing things, fetching things, and reward things. Okay, git push origin master f, and let's talk about the tagging. So what is this tag? Okay, normally what happens, we create a branch. Okay, we create a branch, and what happens in some branches, if you want to tag a number or a version to the, you create a tag out of the branch. What you can use, you can use git tag command. Okay, so if you do get tag hyphen a, updating the existing tag or retagging, you can use git tag hyphen 1.2. deleted tag, you can use git tag hyphen d. So now let me do this one for you. Okay, first let me create a tag. How we can create a tag called git, suppose git tag is to list the tags, so I don't have any tag created. Now if I am going to create git tag version v 1.2.1, I created a version. Now I have git tag, created a tag. Okay, git tag. Now what we have to do, if we do git logs to remind this hashtag, it is little difficult, right? Which commit you are going to work and which commit you are going to, suppose there is something you are going to revert it, you feel something mistake happens, you want to revert that, you can use the git tag to create the tags if you are working on the tagging, and if you want to revert it, you can be using the tag versions v1.1 2 3 4, you can easily do that. Okay, so now let me quickly go to the uh, suppose this feature 1.5 branch has so first let me check which branch I am working with. uh, Branch,
So commit ID will be changed to tag, right?
exactly, the commit id will be changed to the tag. So let me show you. Okay, I'm working on this and I want to press this commit tag, right? I'm going to give a add. So if you see here, I when I created a tag, so that tag is, so when you say the commit ID will be changed to the tag, it's not the commit ID will be changed to tag, but it will be attached to the ID. Either you can get the commit details by using the commit ID, has ID, or you can by using the tag. So when I created a tag, the tag is associated with this branch. You can see it here. Version 1.2.1 is associated in this branch. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, simply, if you want to add, I created one add to this one. If you want to add, give these versions to the main branch or any release 1.4 or anything, what I can do, I can use git tag, okay, hyphen a, add to an existing tag. Okay, so suppose I want to add a tag here. Okay, so what we can do, give has id and the tag number. Okay, so what you can do, you can simply see, sorry, hyphen a version and then commit id. So you have to give the version hyphen a and the version id v 1.2.3 suppose, and then save it. Okay, so now, sorry, it says no tag messages. One second, sorry, 1.2.21 it is, right? Okay, so what happened, the hash id, okay, the hash id is for main. For main branch we don't have any tags, right? So we have to first change to the main branch, right? Git checkout, don't worry, these things, these details you are not going to work mostly, but just learn it. Okay, git checkout main Now I came to main. Now I'm going to add this one. Okay.
Mostly it will be used by developers. If they want to revert back to the
Yes, yes.
previous
These things will be
state.
developer only. Yeah, exactly. No tag message. It says no tag message. Okay. I think I don't need hyphen m options. Too many parameters. Why to put this message? Okay, I think it's not working here. Just ignore it. Should not be working. Okay, should have hyphen message. Anyway, it's not working. Maybe somewhere, maybe I'm missing something, or it's not working. But this is the way you have to create the tag. It's not required for you actually, because we are going to work with the branches, and its tagging options is actually. I just told you to remember all this because you are not will not be tagging anything. Okay, just because what we are going to work will be working in the branches whatever we learned so far, right? Create the branches and then update into the main branch. So let me just show you for further things what we said. Okay, the revert thing. Why when to go for revert? If you feel like you did some changes to the code and you committed it, you did a changes to the code and you committed it by mistake. And
Ranjit, am I audible?
yes, yes, yes.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
So Ranjit, hello. So Ranjit, that error, I think while it is opening some that VI editor, na WQ you are putting. So is it we need to specify some message? Is it for that only? Because we are just simply saving it actually without adding anything. Yeah,
Oh
here.
my God, here I did not put any message. Exactly. You have to just
Yeah. Put
so
some message.
yeah, so some message I have to put
Mm-hmm.
here. That's why I'm saying why is it
Mm-hmm.
showing error? Okay.
Because commit message is telling, na?
Yeah, yeah. So here just that's why it is opening the file,
Mm.
and you can see here the tag edit message is giving it here in this location. So
Mm-hmm.
what you have to just give some messages here, like anything.
Mm. Commit message something.
Okay, it's done now. Now if I just do
Okay.
tag, so we can have now another tag available here. Okay.
2.3.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
the reason. Okay, thank you, Tapan. I
Okay.
was just missing that one. So we have to add the message
Yeah. Okay.
tag. Okay. Now, if I do git log, what we'll see here? See, that has now changed to the main branch, and main has a new tag called 1.2.3. Okay, this is the release 1.4. So this is the updated one. If I want to work on the this tag, suppose git tag, you can use this tag to check out. If you want to do the checkout, git checkout. Okay, now switching to this tag. Okay, if I do git log, see, now I switch to 1.2.1 and working on this feature branch. So in this way you have to just work it.
Mhm.
Okay, uh, now just let me
So
quickly
here also we need to give one name, na, Ranjit?
which name.
Because we switched, but git branch, could you just type? Uh, no, just quit it here. Uh, Git branch. So it will be some detached. So we need to give one name actually.
Yeah,
Git
we can say checkout and
checkout
give the
hyphen
name
b something.
and yeah, hyphen b and then give the name. So whatever I check,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so whatever where it is, git checkout, yeah, git checkout and give a name to that hyphen b. Yeah, we missed hyphen b options here. So hyphen b, you can just get it here. Now,
Hyphen b.
yeah.
Mm.
So let's move on the other parts. Okay. Uh, okay. Because we're not spending
Mm.
more times on that. Whatever is relevant to us, and we'll just learn to that. Otherwise, it will be delayed. Okay. To move on the course. So to do and undo, right? Undo things like to if you have done any commit by mistake and if you undo, just do git revert and the commit id. Okay, that will undo the things. And if you similarly for the rebase thing, let me just talk about this reset and rebase. Okay, uh, this reset is something like to move files back from staging area to the working directory. So which one is the staging area? When I do git add, that will be your staging area. That will take your file to the staging area. And which one will be working copy, working directory? Which we created the file, only saved the file, updated the file and saved, but you did not add it. That will be your working directory. That will be in the working copy. Okay, you have not added into the staging area. That will be unstaged area. So the for staging area you have to add and stage. Suppose you feel like I don't want to add it immediately, I have to edit something else. What you have to do? You have to do git reset, go back, edit the file and do the changes and do add. Okay, so that's why move files back from the staging area. Similarly, if you want to reapply commits on top of another base div, if you want to commit, so whatever the commits happen to the branch names, and if you want to do another branch, head of the another branch, you can do that one. Okay, so don't worry guys, these things whatever we are just going to learn, and this not actually will be useful. We are not anyway going to use these commands manually, but just learn.
DevOps.
So what I'm going to do, let me, so I have just created yeah, document link here I have just given. If you go this documents link, okay, so openings in the Safari. Okay, so here there is some examples of given the for git this actually. uh, if you say if a branch is specified, git reverse will perform an automatic git switch branch before doing anything else, otherwise it remains the current branch. Okay, so I'm not going to put all this stuff in your head because all else you'll get confused, which is relevant and specific. I'm just going to tell you. But don't worry, this nothing will get any questions in the interviews. But this git revert, you may get questions because this is very common. If you do some mistake, you can revert it by using git revert. Okay, and tagging we saw, and this remote adding the remote to the local repo, you can use this one git remote set URL origin or git remote add origin. Okay, you have to do that. And for pulling, we can use git pull request. There is one more very good website when I sell the Atlassian. Actually, this Atlassian.com. Okay, if you go for this Atlassian.com, it has very good documentation related to the Git. Okay, I would always suggest you guys keep handy and bookmark these links on your browser, even in your company. When you are working, you have to follow this. What is this Git Fetch? The git fetch command downloads commits files refs from the remote repository into a local repo. Fetching is what you do when you want to see whether everybody else has been working on. It's similar to okay, SVN update is not required. When downloading content from a remote repo, git pull and git fetch commands are available to accomplish the task. You can consider git fetch the safe version of the two commands. So when you do git fetch, what happens actually, it actually git pull. Okay, git pull and then fetch. Git fetch it does automatically. So how it works actually? Let's see. To better understand how Git fetch works, let us discuss how Git organizations. Okay. Now, if you see here Git branch, we have suppose 3 branches are here, and if you want to see any fetch, it's not given very good way. Fetch all branches from the repository. This also downloads all the required commits and files. Okay, fine. So let me just tell you. If you want to, when we are doing cloning, right? What happens, guys, when we do clone? Let me explain it. When you clone it, what it does, first it pulls the repositories, whatever is there in the remote repository, right? Then updating into that local repositories. That means we are cloning. That clone itself is first pulling the entire main repositories, remote repository, and updating into the local repositories. But when we do git fetch, it fetches all of the branches from the repositories. See, if you do git branch, what we'll see, we have only 1.5 1. If I do git fetch and the only will do git fetch, let's see what is happening. It's not fetching anything. Okay, whatever is there in the branch, I think should have fetched everything, right? Let's quickly create one file in the 1.5 or in the main branch. In the 1.5, let's create one file quickly. Okay, so I'll just add one more file here. Test fetch.txt. Okay, I created one file here. So now let me fetch it. Okay, just go ahead and git fetch. Let's see whether it has fetched everything or not. It has not done anything. So if I do git check out which branch I am in currently, in the 1.2, right? Suppose check out main, check out.
Main.
Okay, now wait a second. Nothing is there. So if I do git check out featured branch, featured 1.5 to nothing is fetched actually. Okay.
So I think Ranjit, Git fetch. After that, Git rebase origin main something we used to type actually. Is that like that?
Yeah, we have to follow the way they have explained actually. Wait 1 second. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
What they have given, suppose git fetch remote branch, or you can say fetch all also. Let's see, fetch all,
Mm-hmm.
fetching origin. Okay, I think it would have fetched everything.
I think this time happened.
No, still no, still no. Git branch
Okay.
feature 1.5 reset. Okay, git checkout main, sorry,
Mm.
no, nothing there. Okay, let's see. The workspace cheater. Git fetch workers repo suppose co-workers feature branch. Okay, this is how it should work actually. First, what you have to do first, git remote add the remote git remote add, and the suppose co-workers repo is a remote repo which you are adding. Okay, which you are adding it. After that only you are using git fetch co-worker repo which is remote to the local repo feature branch. That will be, I think, worked. Okay, anyway, don't focus on this. It is not, you're not going to use this commands mostly. So it is actually something kind of syncing the remote to the local repositories. Okay,
Local. Mm-hmm.
so just leave this one, not going to use it. So let me just go ahead and okay, we saw about, okay, I was talking about the Atlassian one. So if you go to use that Atlassian products, right, I have few documentations I'll share with you for this Atlassian, right. Git flow, I was talking about this go Git flow, right. Just go for this and follow this documentation, and if you want to know more about this Git flow workflow, okay, this Git flow workflow actually it has given everything, and see how it works, all the explanations. If you want to read it further, okay, just to read this how the versioning works. But if you read all this now, it will be stressful, it will be overloaded in your mind. Just focus the basic things what you need, because you are not a developer and you are not going to work in entirely into that. We need the things which is required for our work to be done. Okay, so Intel this flow, and also,
Yeah, Ranjit.
yeah, also there are few more things available in this. I would suggest you guys to follow these documentations. If you want to learn Git about, they have all the good documentations. If you click it here, they'll have all good documentations of how to create a Git repositories, which we already have learned, right? How to create a Git repository. If you have patience to learn, read all this, you can just go ahead and read. And remember, whatever they are showing is, so they are showing Bitbucket, not GitHub. Okay, but the concepts are same. The Git
That
concepts are same. Okay, the Git concepts are same, but they are using their own product that is called Bitbucket, their own product, Atlassian's product. But we are
Oh,
learning
their own. Okay, okay.
it's similar. GitHub,
yeah,
whatever.
Jira, Bitbucket,
Yeah. So Atlassian
everything.
product actually, yeah, Jira and Bitbucket, and there are many actually for from Atlassian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
we are using all in BNP.
Yeah. So you can use that one. Okay. Now let me just quickly go ahead and tell one more things, which will try to finish the GitHub class and move on to the different tool. We have seen here the push. Actually, we saw how to push that one. Okay. Once you do any changes to push the remote uh, repositories, right? By pulling is to pull from remote to local. Remember, pull is to remote, from remote to local, and pushing from local to remote. Okay, from origin to master or master to origin. Now we have seen one Git Ignore. This you will get a questions actually. What is this Git Ignore? Git Ignore, actually it is a hidden file. Dot, in Unix, anything starts with dot is a hidden file. So
Hidden file.
file will have a dot ignore, and this dot ignore file, if you want to skip any file and not to be pushed into remote repository, then you can add the file name or wildcard into the, sorry, git ignore file. What does this mean? When you are working a project, remember there should be some configuration file which will be sensitive data. Some files, some configuration files will be having server informations, will be having some, will be having passwords, or will having plain text, something which is sensible. You don't want to put into the remote repositories. What you have to do then, you have to write those things in the git ignore file. And some things, you, when you're building the files, that local repository will have the build like the target binary files, and you don't want that binary files to again copy to the remote repositories. For that, you can just create git ignore file and write into that. Okay. So similarly, suppose file name .ini, if you want to suppose I have written .git ignore, in that, suppose if you don't want this ini file to be copied, you can mention .ini. So let me do that quickly. So in this file, suppose I don't have anything created. Let me create one file quickly. That's called dvconfig dot.
So like a error message we are putting to dev null na, in Linux, it's the same thing, na?
Exactly.
Whatever you want to junk thing you want to put, you can put. Okay.
No, that's actually a different concept. The junk thing, whatever you put in
Oh,
and all, that is actually different. But here is the important thing which you don't want to.
oh, important. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
here is the
Okay,
which
okay, okay.
which
which you don't want to edit or modify
modify and
accidentally.
Okay.
don't want to share and to visible to everyone. You want to just
Everyone. Okay, okay.
because remote repositories, many developers working, many thing, many people are working, and you don't want to put into that because see, the thing is when no, not about the David developer, or because developer has to see that one. That's that they have to see, otherwise they cannot work it. Once your
Mm-hmm.
product is ready, because that entire product you are going to deliver your client, you don't want your client to see these files. Okay, you can restrict.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want those to be built while passing to the tools. Anyway, this git ignores we are going to frequently use in our git in our Jenkins tool. Okay, when we learn the Jenkins tool, and not only Jenkins, in other tools also, because we are going to use the git very
Mm-hmm.
frequently in other tools, any other programming. So whatever tool setups, we are going to use this git very frequently. That time I'll show you. So let me quickly do it here.
Okay.
Suppose I want to, in this config
That
file.
means whenever we are pushing from local repository to remote, during this time, it will ignore the files which are mentioned in .git ignore, right?
Yes, it will ignore. It will ignore those files. It will not upload into the. It will not upload into the
GitHub.
GitHub
I mean,
repository. Yeah.
yes.
So
So at the time of push only it will check. Okay.
exactly. So
Okay. Okay.
suppose Git. Now what I'm doing to branch. If I see the branch, so I'm in the main branch. So let's edit something in the main branch. Okay. Uh, what I had, I created one dbconfig. Oh shit! I created okay dbconfig file only, but I did not create the git ignore file.
Uh-huh. Let it be. Let it be. No, it's
So let's create
just file name. No. Mm.
git git ignore git ignore. I created a file called .git ignore. Here I'm going to specify this .cnf file should not be into the uh, remote repository. Simply add it
Mm-hmm.
star.cnf. Okay. Saved it. Now what I can do, if I do git
dbconfig file. Mm.
here, git ignore, we added one file, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it, or let me create one more file. Okay, git git add git commit -m git ignore added. Okay, it's done. Now when I do git push origin main, okay, now if I go here, what should be done? If I refresh this main, if I go to the main branch, see, I don't have any CNF file copied. Can you see any CNF file here? I created a CNF file here. You
No,
can
no.
see the CNF file, right? .cnf file is there because I have added this in my
Yes.
.git ignore. Okay, .git ignore file I have added. So if I remove this now, if I remove this, save it. Now let me quickly add commit
Push it.
and just push it. Push origin main. Okay, if I go here and refresh it, you'll see the CNF file is now, see, the CNF file has now come, right? So that's how you have to use the git ignore. Whatever the things you don't want to put into the git repositories, you can put it there and work on your project. Okay. Now, so we learned about this git ignore and this webhook. It's very important part, webhook, and we are going to use very frequently in Jenkins. These webhooks, what happens, and you'll get questions, definitely you'll get questions to get ignore and webhook. Okay, what is this webhook? Webhooks can be triggered whenever a variety of actions are performed on a repositories or an organizations. These things I'll show you the demo in our Jenkins class. Okay, there only I'll show you how you create your webhook, and from webhook you will get at least 2 to 3 questions. Okay, I'll that time I'll show you, I'll give you the questions and I'll guide you how to do that. But so far just see what is the meaning of the webhook, what is the definitions, and then we'll see all the things in our Jenkins classes. Okay, so tomorrow class will start with Jenkins. In our DevOps, right, we started from the source code management, okay, the developers part, and then we are moving to the building, like to learn the Jenkins. Okay, so what is the webhooks? Webhooks can be triggered whenever a variety of actions are performed on a repositories or an organizations. Okay, so when a repository is pushed to, a pull request is open, a GitHub pages site is built, a new member is added to a team. In these scenarios, you can trigger a webhook event. Okay, using the GitHub API, you can make these webhooks update an external issue tracker, trigger CI. This one is trigger CI builds. That means through webhooks, we can instruct that let's the build starts. What happens,
Stats.
guys, when, that's why that is what automatics, right? We are going to automate everything, so we don't have to wait the developers to push the code and somebody has to manually trigger the build. No, as soon as the developer push the code to the GitHub repositories, one trigger automatically will be triggered, an event will automatically be triggered, and that will execute the build in Jenkins server by using this webhook.
Webhook.
Okay, that we'll see, because that is how the automations happen. So here no third persons or build engineer will be there to build it. Your developer only does the work, simply sitting at home pushing the code. Automatically that code will be triggered and automatically Jenkins will start and do the building. No persons will be, no manual interventions will be there, it will be automatic. How this automatics will be done, I'll show you in the Jenkins class.
Jenkins class.
That will be very you'll see the real how the flow works, okay, in the real time. Okay guys, So yeah, what is then next? Update a backup mirror, anything, not only what is by using the webhooks. I'm just showing an example of triggering the CI builds using the Jenkins. You can even do anything you want, update a backup mirror or anything, deploy to a production server, right? So there's those things you can do it, but normally it says event deploy to a production server. No companies, no enterprises, big enterprises, they do actually direct production deployment from Jenkins. After the build is success, it should be no, nobody does it. Only the startup companies, small startup companies, actually they are now doing this culture. But other big companies, they follow the ITIL methods, ITIL methodology, very strict. Most of the big enterprises, they follow the ITLs, right? ITL process.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, what it says, you will need access to an external server and familiarity with technical procedures in order to set up a new webhook. You need some technical procedures, and these technical procedures I'll tell you and guide you how you can do that. Okay, I'll show you in the Jenkins setup. Now there is some conflict and troublesome things. I'll share this document with you guys, and you can keep it handy with you, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, and this, don't worry, and this Git we are going to use entirely in our DevOps course. Okay, all the tools we are going to use Git only. That time, if you have any doubt, we'll discuss. Okay, so we'll not mostly waste our time. Okay. Okay, guys, everything is done now for Git GitHub. Any doubt or anything we can discuss.